Hey, thank you for checking out this video. Just a heads up though, we're not showing actual wrestling footage, as this is an internet wrestling radio show only, and it may contain language that could be offensive to some. So if you can't handle it, giving you a heads up now, you may want to skip this episode. Thank you so much. Enjoy, comment, and subscribe.
The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, interactive, covering the latest in wrestling and beyond. You're listening to the RCWR show with Lee Sanders and Diamond K.
What was supposed to be a historical and monumental WrestleMania 29 that came to us from the New York, New Jersey area. And for those of you that were not able to see this event on pay-per-view, if you skipped this one out, I think you will be somewhat pleased, at least with some of the things that I have to say, although my co-hosts, they may disagree. I am definitely going to be very critical of this pay-per-view, and I'm not going to be too harsh. You know how we do it over here. We try to keep it honest. We try to keep it insightful, and we try to keep it informative. We got to do our best to always keep it real over here on the RCWR show. That's one of our original slogans that we had when we first did this show, always keeping it real. And you know what? If you disagree with some of the things that we have to say, guess what? We'd love to hear from you. We have the chat room that's open right now at blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR show. You're more than welcome to jump on in there when you get a free moment. Post some of your comments in that way. You can also get yourself heard live on the air by calling us at 646-478-3525. Once again, that's area code 646-478-3525. Listen to the prompts. Get yourself heard live on the air. And, while I'm waiting, you can also hit us up on Twitter at Infinity1Prod. Again, that's on Twitter at Infinity1Prod. You can even hit us up at our new show handle, the RCWR show. That's also on Twitter. So you have two options there to communicate with us. And for those of you that we did interact with throughout the course of WrestleMania weekend, we do humbly thank you all in advance. I'm going to slide on in one of our co-hosts, one of two, as it's going to be a three-man panel tonight, the beautiful and the lovely Tammy, who's making her return one last go-round. Tammy, how's your signal over there? You pretty good?
Yeah, great.
All right. And we're waiting on Diamond K. Let's just go on ahead, Tammy, and let's just run right through it. I got some very interesting things to say about this pay-per-view, and I think of all the post shows that I've done over the past year, and folks, with this WrestleMania now in the books, and this is a very well-known fact, I didn't really realize this until earlier today. With the conclusion of WrestleMania tonight, we have been officially covering wrestling for 1 year, from promotions such as TNA, WWE, of course, Shimmer. We've been covering it for a solid year now, and it's with that, we got to talk about this pay-per-view. In anticipation, I checked out the previous WrestleMania, tried to get myself ready for a taste of things to come. It was my first time actually watching last year's WrestleMania since ordering it on pay-per-view. I had it in shrink wrap, and I took it out of the shrink wrap the first time today, and I used it as a reference of things to kind of look for with tonight's WrestleMania. And, the one thing, Tammy, that just speaks large volumes to me, now that this WrestleMania is in the books, disappointment with a capital D. That really sums up the way this pay-per-view had played out. I mean, let's talk about the main event, of course. We had The Rock taking on John Cena for the WWE Championship. This was literally a rematch from last year, which if you did not see the design of tonight's set, you would have thought that maybe you were watching last year's WrestleMania. And, only thing that was different this go-round was that we saw John Cena become a 11-time WWE Champion. And afterwards, we see something, we're kind of waiting there, and I don't know if you were kind of getting the same vibe, Diamond, I don't know if you were kind of getting the same vibe, but we're kicking back, we're watching this, and we just get this weird vibe, like, okay, the match is over. Is something going to happen here? That's what it kind of seemed like, because The Rock just stays in the ring, and then we see, like, an exchange of words go down between Cena and The Rock. It's looking kind of classy. Rock basically telling Cena, this is your moment, you've earned it, this is your night, please go ahead, have the spotlight. And John Cena, he's saying, no, everything that you've done, no, take this moment right now, go ahead, go for it. And we see The Rock get one hell of an ovation. And then to see him make his way, kiss his family, make his way up the ramp, bumps into John Cena again, who gives him the salute. The Rock holding John Cena's hand up high and saying basically, this is the man, folks. He is the man now. He's beaten the People's Champion. He is now officially the man. We understand the message that was supposed to be sent right there, although the fans, obviously, and you can't cheat a New York crowd, okay? They did not like seeing that. They could care less about John Cena being the WWE Champion. I want for both of you all to talk about what it was like seeing those last few seconds play out there before, as the pay-per-view was getting ready to wrap up. One of y'all, just go ahead and kick it off.
Well, for me, it was, a mixed emotion for a lot of the fans. It seemed like there were some that were, incredibly proud that happened, but then there were some faces that looked like, really, I can't believe that this actually happened. And just, of somewhat of a disbelief, because it's kind of like round 2 of last year's WrestleMania, just with a different outcome to a point because of him becoming champ.
Diamond.
Well, to me, it was clear this is why The Rock came back. This is what he was supposed to do. This is why they pay him the big bucks. And that was to cement Cena as a babyface and put him over as the guy. If he had done it this way, the first match, it would not have had the desired effect. And I don't know if it's had the desired effect now, but this is, I don't think anybody extra likes Cena, than a year ago. But this was the goal. This is what they set out to do. And clearly, the Cena heel turn is not going to happen until next year.
Or so we hope. I mean, and I know we got those that want to be optimistic, and they're really hanging in there. And it's funny that you mention that, because I love the plug that they put in there during WrestleMania of John Cena granting over 300 Make-A-Wishes, and him stressing that it's one of the most experiences that he enjoys the most, as he's able to put a smile on, someone that's, very sick. And yeah, I definitely think it's very classy what he does. Nobody's going to sit up and try to characterize his character, his demeanor. We'll give him that. He does have that hard spot for that Make-A-Wish Foundation, and he does a lot of good charity work. He is the face for that. But I can't help but go back to that article that he put out earlier in the week. I forgot who it was that he did the interview with, but he told them, he's very passionate. He said, there is just no way I'm going to go heel for some short-term storyline it's not happening. All the charity work that I do, you know, and a lot of people, you keep hearing the same thing over and over and over again. John Cena, he's passionate about this. It's why he will never go heel. And, I mean, we've had, you know, there's a few of wrestlers that you can think of that was always a baby face that never quite, you know, you kick back and say, well, can we kind of, you know, as a heel, I think one that jumps out there the most is Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. You know, for pretty much a vast majority of his career, he was always a baby face. I know there's probably a couple of month period there where they tried to flirt with it a little bit, but it didn't go that well. And, you know, but other than that little hiccup, he's always been a baby face. You know, guys, I'd like to honestly believe that maybe one day we can see a John Cena go heel, but I don't think it's going to happen. You know, just being for real. And there's just something about the way Cena had said it in the interview, and just comparing it to the other interviews that he's given over the years, it seems like there is a line that he just won't cross. And for him, that line is being a heel, because how's he going to kick back and talk to those same old sick kids? How's he going to let them know that what they're seeing on TV, that isn't really how he is in real life, that he is still, you know, a good guy? You know, the shirt just speaks for itself. Never give up, you know? I don't see it happening. But aside from that, the way that this was supposed to be received, I don't think the point really came across well. I don't think it was executed well enough. I mean, we all can agree, yeah, that's exactly how it was supposed to be, passing of the torch. This is exactly what The Rock was supposed to do. And, Diamond, I do agree with you 100%, buddy, that if this would have happened last year, it really would have came off rather odd looking. So it is good that it went down this go round. Man, but Tammy, you and me were talking about this before we went on the air. We say, you know, how unfortunate that The Rock lost the strap, and that he just can't handle the workload longer of juggling the company and doing the Hollywood thing, because, you know, really he'd be a great representation for the WWE. But since you have it as it is, and of course WWE, they probably want a champion that they know will definitely push them and do all that promoting. I can understand why the belt had to go back eventually to John Cena.
Mhm. Yeah. Absolutely.
Anything you guys want to add to that? Go ahead. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and I'll move along with the next few matches that went about.
Before we change topics real quick, you know, and I was going to say something about it, and you kind of touched on it. The reception from the crowd was kind of lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
If you think back to, and I know it was a little different because there was a heel face turn, but if you think back to The Rock and Hogan, that the building, the roof was getting ready to blow off of the building. I mean, the people were cheering and yelling and screaming. I didn't hear that, and for the first time ever, I actually thought that, well, maybe not ever, but they definitely seemed underwhelmed, and not only with this match.
Mm-hmm.
Not only with this match. I mean, I know that the New York crowd can be a tough crowd, so I think that may have played some into it. But I don't know if I didn't have the TV turned up. I actually watched most of it on my iPad because I was moving around a bit. But it just seemed like, I don't know whether it was the long length of the show or what it was, but they didn't get the desired reaction from the fans that I think that they were shooting for.
And that was the same theme throughout the night. I was actually picking up the same vibe myself. And, I mean, honestly, it just kind of goes back, Tammy, to when we went to the Verizon Center for the final Raw. Yeah, I mean, it was one of those experiences that just still rattles me to this day. And I was just thinking about it in large volumes when I saw that exchange at the end between The Rock and Cena. It's like, I'm thinking back to D.C., you had all those boos for somebody that is supposed to be the top babyface in the company, and I'm thinking to myself, when Hogan was a top babyface, he never got boos like that, and he never got boring chants. Ultimate Warrior, for the little bit of stuff that he did in the ring, he never got a boring chant or see ton of boos. Here's your guy that's pushing so much merchandise sales. He is on the face of whatever product you put in front of him, and he's getting booed out the building. He's being booed that he's boring. And you put the WWE title on him, I couldn't help but say to myself, can we get the Shield? Is Brock Lesnar going to come out? Where's the oomph that I need to go into Monday Night Raw? And I just did not get that oomph tonight. And you look at that. You look at what happened with the Brock Lesnar Triple H match, and as I'm seeing that match play out, Diamond, I'm thinking about you, buddy. I'm saying, okay, Diamond, good observation. He said, okay, one match has to reflect the other, so if Undertaker goes over CM Punk, then surely that'll mean Brock Lesnar will go over Triple H, because you can't have there be a stacked deck of top faces go over the top heels, because these are your money-making matches right here. On the contrary, we see Triple H defeat Brock Lesnar. I was holding out, and I actually went on record and said, I'm going with Triple H for the win. He needs that whole redemption, okay? And, it looked like we were about to see Brock Lesnar tap out a couple of times. I don't know about you guys, but I'm saying bullshit. There's no way in hell we can see a former UFC champion MMA fighter tap out to one poor-looking submission hold. No, we need to see something else happen here, okay? And I'm glad that we got that, but that was another match, just the way that it first came about, like the first half. It was kind of like, okay, let's pick it up. Put some mustard on it. Come on. And I get the story that they were trying to tell. They were trying to say that, unlike some of the men that Triple H has faced over the years, this is a beast of a man, especially when you put in the whole no-holds-barred theme to it. He's being outclassed. He's being dominated. I get that they were trying to tell, but it just seemed so odd. It just seemed so bland, just kicking back and watching it. But then it kind of seemed like after those first 15 minutes, that's when it started to pick up and it started to get a little more interesting. But then even at that, we're kicking back and we're thinking, okay, maybe we're going to see the unthinkable. Maybe the booking is finally going to get it right and the correct thing is going to be done. Triple H is going to lose to Brock Lesnar. On the contrary, Lesnar loses to Triple H, thus he's not retired. I don't know about you guys, but I tried very hard over the years to give Triple H the benefit of doubt. I've tried to give him his props where it counts to most. But this, to me, this victory, it makes no frickin' sense, and then it has me wonder if Brock Lesnar isn't good enough to retire Triple H, then who is?
He's never going to retire.
Tammy, your thoughts?
Honestly, it's really the same story with a different angle to me. I kind of agree with Diamond. I really don't think he's going to retire. Not like that.
So how do you have Brock Lesnar redeem from this? I mean, if the writers are already thinking ahead to WrestleMania 30, and they want for Brock Lesnar and The Rock to get it on, how do you have Brock Lesnar, come back from a huge loss like that?
Well, to me, it seems to be that he seems very resilient. So I'm sure they will come up with some type of an angle that will get him back into the game.
If you look at the type of shape that Brock is in, he looks good. He looks better. He's more lean than he was in UFC. He easily can just come out and destroy someone, and he has his credibility back. And I think that had he tapped out, it would have really been rough. But he lost in a no holds barred match. Whatever. All he has to do is destroy some baby face once or twice, and that's it. He's back. And they can, he can. At some point in time, I think that they should put a title on him sometime throughout the year. It's really easy for that to happen. And there's a way that they could have these two paths intersect at Royal Rumble or something like that.
The only way I see Brock Lesnar getting a title is if those dates are more frequent, because what's working right now just isn't cutting it. I need to see a little bit more from the man to even make.
The Rock, who's the Rock and Brock have had the same, pretty much close to the same amount of dates throughout the year. If you add up all of Brock's appearances in the last calendar year, and you add up all of the Rock's appearances, it seems like we saw the Rock more because it was more bunched together in the last few months. But I would say they probably appeared about the same amount of time.
I actually think you're on to something. Yeah, I'll give you that. They could very well pull it off. I mean, I would hope that they take what went down with Brock Lesnar, and I'm just praying to God that they have some type of an angle go down where maybe we can see Paul Heyman kind of talking to both of his clients, because, after all, when it's said and done, Paul Heyman went 0-2 tonight. Team Heyman isn't looking too good right about now, and I need to see something happen. I know CM Punk is wanting to take some much-needed time off. He wants to rest up. Maybe there could be some type of a crazy scenario that could go down where I'm hoping maybe on Monday Night Raw we see Lesnar CM Punk collide, and maybe we can see Lesnar kind of take out his frustration on CM Punk, sideline him for a good minute, and then when you get CM Punk come back, he can kind of be that babyface again, and he can kind of work out with Brock Lesnar, and maybe that's how you can kind of have Brock Lesnar go over that way. Wishful thinking, and whether or not that's going to be executed that way, I have no idea, but that's how I would kind of approach this, because really right now the whole idea of a Brock Lesnar taking on The Rock, it just makes no sense right now. I need to see something go down, and maybe something can go down tomorrow night, but I need to see something more concrete, something more, okay, this definitely makes sense. Yes, we should definitely be seeing this. Okay, yeah, I'm so for the match. I was just talking about 0-2. CM Punk, we thought that he was going to do it, but I was actually one of the other people that said, nope, Undertaker, he's going to get the job done. This is all about the honor of Paul Bearer, his memory. We saw Undertaker defeat CM Punk to go 21-0. I was paying very close attention to this match, and I definitely want to get you guys' takes on this, on what you guys were seeing, because as I'm watching this match, in a nutshell, I couldn't help but think about Undertaker's last performance. I'll go further. I'll say not only last year, but the year before, and I couldn't help but compare those to what I was seeing of him in the ring tonight. And though he was in better shape than last year for the most part, because he looked to be a little more trimmer this year. He lost that 30-plus pounds in time. It seemed like he was relying on CM Punk more to tell the story in the ring tonight. And I don't know. I mean, it just didn't quite feel like that usual Undertaker match that you've come close to experiencing over the years. Would you both agree with that, or you think differently?
I would definitely agree with that. I felt that it didn't feel like a typical Undertaker match. It, that very first little bit, it felt like, that Taker was really relying very heavily on CM Punk to help him through it.
Yeah, the thing is that, to me, he has been weighing on his opponents for a long time. And he weighed on Shawn Michaels and Triple H tremendously. I think that the reason why this match wasn't as exciting, for one, is that Undertaker can't do anything, really. It just, CM Punk carried the match, and it really, seeing them together really showed how different they are size-wise. Mm-hmm. That, I think that had a lot to do with it as well. CM Punk really looked small, and it being in the ring with Undertaker made him look like a junior heavyweight. It was like Chavo in there with, I don't know, somebody that's a lot bigger. And I think that Tony, him losing weight, I think was part of it, because, if he was a lot bigger, it would have looked even worse. To me, I think that a big problem now is that it seems like multiple wrestlers have the same haircut. They have the same build. I mean, it just looks like a bunch of clones. I mean, Triple H, CM Punk, and Taker look like they all have the same barber. And that's a problem.
That's true.
I mean, that's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I must say, I do have to take my hat off to CM Punk, because, I mean, he really did a good job carrying Undertaker in that match. And we got to put the question out there, because, it's going to be on a lot of people's minds. 21-0 at 48 years old. Have we seen the last of The Undertaker?
No.
I really don't think he's going to stop until he physically cannot do it anymore. I mean, at this point, he's getting there now, but I really think that he's such a draw that they're going to go back to him until he physically can't do it anymore.
We'll take a brief pause, and we want to thank those of you that's checking out tonight's post show right now. Black Avenger Lee Sanders with Diamond K and Tammy. It's our WrestleMania 29 post show. Got about 18 people in the chat room. We got iRadius in there, H2O Willie, Philip, Robert. Hello to all you guys. Looking at some of the things that you guys are saying in the chat room right now, Philip points out a very good observation. There were no dives, no old school. I guess he's talking about the CM Punk and the Undertaker match. And let's see what some of you other guys are saying here. Rock just held a title with one defense. That came from iRadius. Robert says, I'm 110% there. Wasn't a cliffhanger for tomorrow night's WWE Raw. Damn right about that. There is really no reason to check out Raw tomorrow night. But I'll go more into that in a little bit. Some of the other action that we had saw for WrestleMania tonight, and we should point out to you, if you guys were looking for tons of funk, take on Team Rhodes Scholars, that did not happen. That little 8-man mix tag match, that bad boy got scrapped. We didn't even see that. They ran out of time.
What's probably going to happen? probably going to have. That's why you tune in to Raw tomorrow to see that match.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there you go. Yeah. You guys wanted to see that match? There you go. You got to sit through 3 hours of Raw just to watch that match tomorrow. There you go. We saw the Shield. The booking actually did it right here. We saw the Shields, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, continue their impressive streak as they made their WrestleMania debut, as they defeated the team of Randy Orton, Sheamus, and The Big Show. We all thought that it was going to be Randy Orton to be the wild card there that may kind of defect over to the Shield, but it was actually Big Show that costed his team the victory as he was frustrated. He didn't get tagged into the match, and whole tons of miscommunication in this match on Team Orton. That's what I'm going to call it. We end up seeing Big Show knock out Sheamus and Orton. What was you guys' take on seeing the Big Show kind of turn his back there on his partners after Randy Orton went on record trying to defend the Big Show time and time again, and sure enough, it was actually Big Show that cost him the win.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm really not surprised because in the last little bit, Big Show has pretty much been all about Big Show. And whether it's in a team or whether it's by himself, he's becoming that type of person that's all about me, and, you know, it is what it is, so I'm honestly not surprised.
You know, it's funny, I got a call Friday night from one of my childhood friends saying, it's going to be Big Show. Big Show's going to turn. And I said, nobody wants to see that. It's going to be Orton. So I know that I know he's listening, and I know he's sitting there with a big smile on his face. He tried to call me during WrestleMania, and I sent him straight to voicemail because I knew why he was calling.
Big Show actually tried to call you?
No, not Big Show.
Oh, okay, I was going to say. You better run.
Yeah, but yeah, it's funny, right? Yeah, so, I mean, it's just that, I don't know, they're going to continue that. I mean, I didn't want to see him turn face, Big Show, or stay face, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that he's still in the role as a heel. But, you know, I mean, it was one of those matches. It helped the Shield. So, and I think that was the most important part of it.
Yeah. You know, another thing that WWE had got right tonight, and we got to give them props on it, Fandango went over Chris Jericho in his WrestleMania debut, and he looked damn impressive against the former first undisputed champion. One in great heel-like fashion, too. What was you all's impressions of seeing Fandango pick up a win?
Fandango. Yeah, it was impressive. It was impressive. It seemed like it was a rough match for Mr. Jericho. I don't know whether he was stiff or what, but Chris Jericho seemed worse for wear. And explain the exchange at the end. I mean, was that supposed to happen, or did he misjudge the lion salt? You remember the exchange I'm talking about at the very end?
Oh yeah. I mean, Fandango kind of missed the connection there because, you know, it was supposed to be the knees go into Chris Jericho's abdomen and then, you know, but yeah, it didn't quite work out like that. What I was peeping out on was when Fandango went for the cover, that thing said 1, 2, ding, ding, and I'm like, wait a minute now, we didn't hear 3. I was like, okay, it's obvious this is predetermined, you know. You know, that was, you kind of had to rewind and actually, you know, because you could have missed it the first time, but I thought that it was crazy to see that play out, but I thought Fandango did a pretty damn good job too, and I didn't think he was going to be able to hang with Chris Jericho. quite honestly. You know, I really did not think he was going to be able to keep up with him. And, you know, here's the thing that I want to say to you guys, because I know we got some that's probably going to look at the talk that we've had so far of WrestleMania, and they probably might want to sit up and say, you know, oh, well, wrestling fans are always going to find something to bitch and complain about. Yes, we are wrestling fans, but at the same time, we're also broadcasters. So, you know, it's our job to kind of kick back, and, you know, we kind of have to look at the overall spectrum. You know, so if you don't really like the way we're talking about a particular product, in this case WrestleMania, if you think that we're being a little bit too harsh or too critical on the product, you're more than welcome to call in, and you can get your thoughts, you know, heard live on the air. Maybe you can bring a side of the argument that, you know, is definitely, you know, enlightened, something that we didn't consider. But, you know, this WrestleMania, you know, I have to say it was really lackluster, so to speak, as Mark Henry defeated Ryback. I thought the booking, I don't know. You know, I'm looking at a guy like Mark Henry, guys. Injury after injury after injury, and, you know, it's kind of like, what do we do with Mark Henry? Kind of touch and go right here. He defeats Ryback, young, up and coming. Now, let's be for real. Ryback isn't that young, but he's definitely younger than Mark Henry, at least by about maybe, I would say at least maybe 6-7 years. And what were you guys' thoughts on seeing Mark Henry go over Ryback? I mean, obviously they're trying to set this up in a way where these two are going to continue their program. I mean, that's obvious, but are you sold on a continued program with these two guys, or do you think Ryback should have picked up the victory? And bear in mind, in case you aren't keeping track at home, this now officially marks Ryback's first defeat.
In singles competition. Yeah.
In singles competition, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I was surprised. I was surprised that it seems like throughout the night, the theme of the night was veteran puts over younger guy when they're in that situation. But for whatever reason, they chose to go another way. Were you impressed with Ryback's performance?
Well, you know, it definitely wasn't no, oh, wow, that's a good arm bar. You know, it was pretty much clothesline, body slam, stop. You know, I really couldn't, I don't know what to make of this match. It wasn't bad. You know, I had two guys that I like a lot, but at the same time, you know, it was kind of like, damn. So how do you guys really feel about Ryback? You know, you have him lose to somebody that's older, you know, that really at this point should be proving that he can stay healthy for at least 6 months. That's my whole thing. You know, it'd be one thing if we've seen Mark Henry for about 6 months now. It's like, okay, all right, yeah, let him go over Ryback. But to just have it go down like this, you know, I know they're going to make up for it in a big way because they're going to have these two continue their program. I know in the end Ryback will come out on top. I just hope that WWE isn't taking a serious gamble to the point where before this rivalry can reach its conclusion, Henry gets injured to the point where they can't do this, and then they're going to have to scrounge around and try to figure out what they can do for Ryback next. That's just my whole thing. That's the only thing I'm concerned about. But if Henry can stay healthy, yeah, I mean, this definitely it can be one of the most intriguing rivalries in quite some time. Two big men just going at it. I love it.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm still not sold on Ryback 100%.
Honestly, I think that's why you need him to work with somebody like Mark Henry.
Yeah.
He needs to work those kinks out, you know. You need a guy like Mark Henry that you need a guy like Mark Henry that can go that physical route. That doesn't have to be all, that's too much. You need somebody that can really, really test him. And if he can get past Henry, then this guy's really the limit, I think. Team Hell No defeated Ziggler. That's what I'm calling them. Team of Big E, Langston, and Dolph Ziggler. Oy, are we a little bit disappointed that Team Hell No had got the victory, knowing that later on we would not see a Dolph Ziggler attempted cash-in?
I wasn't disappointed as bad as I was by the end of the night. But, I was disappointed with that. I thought that they were going to capture the gold. But when they didn't, it spoiled the enjoyment of the evening for me.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Tammy?
Yeah, I actually was expecting a cash-in from him. I actually was a bit disappointed because I actually liked Ziggler and crew. I was actually disappointed that they didn't win.
Yeah, it was, how about Big E Langston, though? Big E Langston, he, for his WrestleMania debut, he was pretty damn impressive.
Mhm. Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Definitely. I agree.
He was off to a better start than Ryback, I thought. Yeah. Yeah, he did pretty damn good. P. Diddy, he had performed. Of course, we saw him make a little cameo last year, and here he is again, busting out his little hits, and I couldn't wait for this to end. I personally don't give a damn about P. Diddy, Puff Combs, Sugar Puffs, whatever the hell he's calling himself nowadays. I could care less about this guy. Tammy, I know you were kind of kicking back saying, when are they going to get some actual talent that we want to see?
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Shoot. I liked Diddy better when he was behind B.I.G. He's like, yeah, bad boy. I miss that Sugar Puff Combs. I like that better. But yeah, this definitely was one of the most poorest halftime concert shows, if that's what you want to call it. I had got a big freaking I had a bigger reaction for it in living color. I thought they were just freaking awesome playing CM Punk's cult of personality. And I know a lot of people were probably looking at that band and they were probably saying to themselves, who the fuck is that band? It's like, wait a minute, they're the ones that sing CM Punk's theme song? It's like, yeah, you didn't know they were black, did you? Yeah. It's like, where you been? Them boys have been around since the 80s, man, and they've been going at it hard. They still release new music on a regular basis. Only thing I have to add to that, the lead singer, Corey, my dude, all that gray, that means no play, man. You need to just lose all that because he looked like gray.
I thought it was blonde.
Nah, it was gray. It was great from what I saw. Nah. But yeah, I enjoyed their performance more than P. Diddy. Hopefully they get some. They need to give Beyonce a call. My God, you would have thought that after what she did at the halftime show, they might have tried to do a little something with her. Speaking of which, we saw Alberto Del Rio take on Jack Swagger. Now, quietly, that was actually one of the most technical matches of the night. So if you like that whole, two good in-ring technicians going at it, then this was definitely the match for you, despite the fact that, once again, we see Alberto Del Rio come out and to kind of echo what we had said as we were at Raw in D.C., once again, biggest stage of them all, in front of 80,000-plus people, Alberto Del Rio hardly gets a reaction. But post-match, it was kind of like, that was a damn good match. Yeah, Del Rio, haha, yeah, but it wasn't like, wow, it was just, yeah, haha, all right, what's next? But how did you guys enjoy this particular match, seeing Zeb Coulter, a.k.a. Yosemite Sam, dressed in his Burger King attire?
Well, actually, my analogy was more like he worked for, today was a half-off special day at Bass Pro Shops for me. But other than that, the match was I enjoyed it from the technical standpoint. Had some really good, maneuvers, and I actually enjoyed the match. I've gone on record and saying I don't particularly care for Del Rio, but, as far as technical, it was very good.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Diamond?
No real comment on that.
You leaving that match alone, huh?
Yeah.
Come on, man! Don't hold back. Let the listeners to share your thoughts, man. Give them that food for thought.
I'm just indifferent to it.
You could have done without the match, I take it.
Yeah.
Well, hey, there's Diamond. I think that sums it up in a nutshell. So Diamond, how you really feel, man? You would have preferred to see that on the pre-show?
Yeah.
Ooh, wee, damn. For you guys that saw WrestleMania in the chat room, let us know what you had thought about the Del Rio versus Jack Swagger match. And speaking of that pre-show, go ahead, Diamond.
I will say this. With the ending of the match, I think that we saw the end of Jack Swagger for quite some time.
We, the people. I mean, damn.
But,
he lost by a submission. It's like, damn.
He lost at WrestleMania. He lost by submission, and Zeb Coulter continued to gain heat, not Jack Swagger. I think that with those last bit of camera shots and things like that, he's going to get another mercenary in his place.
Yeah. I can see it now. Zeb Coulter can go, Swagger, you are obviously not the chosen one. Let me ask you this. Do we see maybe a combination of Big Show with Zeb Coulter maybe?
Not bad, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Bad. Yeah, I think he's looking for a cause, and that's not a bad combination right there.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, doesn't get any more American than Big Show. Big Show should have in his past experience before going to the WWE. I'm sure he's had his hand of blue collar jobs and can definitely relate to what it's like to see an immigrant come in and take a job that he was trying to get to feed his family and all that. That would be a very nice transition. But yeah, just the way that match ended, it's like no chance for a rematch. No, you're done. No, bye. Sayonara. So that's a very interesting development right there. And let's go in the chat room. Hi, Radius. Del Rio is the new Bob Backlund. No more Tea Party. Robert followed that up with Swagger received the jobber entrance, too. iRadius, I think the DUI. Yeah. iRadius says, I think the DUI did him in. I definitely think you're on to something there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
The pre-show, we touched on it briefly. We saw The Miz become the new Intercontinental Champion as he defeated Wade Barrett. I was actually more into the combination of Scott Armstrong, Dusty Rhodes, Kofi Kingston, Jim Ross. I was more interested in what they had to say as they kept highlighting each match. as opposed to the pre-show itself. Not that it was bad. It was for a pre-show. It was actually pretty damn good. And you guys know how we do it over here, as we love calculating the numbers for how the pre-show did. Just in case you're a little bit curious, because we were keeping track of the stats on YouTube, the pre-show began at 57,267 strong. That was followed up by the Cult Swagger Del Rio promo. That came in at 73,721. Then they showed a video package of fans traveling from all around the world to go to WrestleMania. That rounded off at 84,303. Triple H Brock Lesnar promo, just over 84,000, almost close to the number I said previously. There was a backstage segment with the social media ambassador of the night, Miss Snooki, with Barrett and Miz. That was at 96,671. Ryback, Henry, their little promo with commentating from Ross, Dusty, Kofi, that came in at 100,469. WrestleMania 29 press conference, that was at a little bit over 101,000. CM Punk Undertaker, that pulled in over 108,000. And what actually had drew the highest of the night was actually the, surprisingly, not the pre-show match, as that had just over 117,000. It was actually the Rock Cena Civil Twilight video promo that came in at a little bit over 118,000. This had to have been probably one of the most viewed pre-shows that WWE has done since they've embraced social media, Google Hangout, and all of that. Quite pleased with how they did this year. What was you all's thoughts overall for the pre-show? What little did you all see?
Mm-hmm.
Guys?
Uh-huh.
That was a question there. I was asking, what did you guys think about the pre-show?
You know, I like to think that the Miz match, I mean, it just equates to a boxing pre-show. It's just like nobody hardly there. By the time everyone gets there, somebody else has to tell you what happened. I mean, it's just, I don't know, 3 words to describe it. It's supporting. Oh my God! It was. I really don't know, but it's like I think it was the Miz that said that he was in the one of the most important spots on the card. And
right, I was a little surprised that the Intercontinental belt was in the pre-show match.
Yeah, but for those that might have been holding out for an appearance by the United States champion Antonio Cesaro, did they come up short? Because we were kind of given a little bit of a tease that maybe Cesaro was going to pop up. On the contrary, he didn't, and I definitely felt that would have made WrestleMania be even that much more exciting to check out, as you got that full experience of a new injection of the talent that WWE has had come up to the main roster over the past year. And, you just take that, combine that with no divas in action, not even the Diva Championship made an appearance, as it really would have been kick-ass to see the title be defended against AJ Lee, knowing that she's from the New Jersey area. All we got to see was that little brief cameo of her for that little tag match. Let's talk about WrestleMania overall, guys. Let's really bring it on home, as I do want to open up the phone lines, get you guys' reactions. And we also got some cool prizes that we want to give away right before we go off the air. Let's talk about this pay-per-view, guys. The experience about it overall, if you were a little bit disappointing or if it got the job done. I mean, what do you tell those folks that did not watch WrestleMania? As we know, there's a good number of folks that sat this one out. They damn sure did not want to pay that extra $5 to see it, knowing that this year it's going to be $60 for standard, $70 for HD. I jumped out there. I paid $70, and I'm not going to take up too much more time. In a nutshell, I couldn't help but kind of say to myself, this pay-per-view was not worth $70. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but that's just how I felt. How did you guys feel about this pay-per-view?
Honestly, for me, it felt kind of a little bit lackluster. I was expecting a little more from it. For me, it was probably maybe a 6 to 7 out of 10.
How about you, Diamond? No, we don't hear Diamond. Diamond? Diamond. No? Oh, wait. We must have lost Diamond. Yeah, we hear you now.
Okay.
Looks like the call was dropped. We got you.
Yeah. All in all, I mean, WrestleMania has that big feel. I definitely felt that there were a lot of what's the word I want to say? You know, the mainstream fans, the fans that are not watching SummerSlam and Elimination Chamber, and you know, there were a lot of those fans in attendance, even live, and I think that had something to do with the lack of reaction to a lot of things, and that surprisingly hurts the overall enjoyment, at least when you're watching at home, of the whole thing, because that makes you indifferent or lackluster in your response to a match when you're watching it at home. So all of that played together, but I think they did what they wanted to do. I'm really anxious to see how many buys they did and whether or not they reached their mark with that and whether they surpassed last year's numbers.
And I tell you what, I'm very curious to see what's going to happen on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night, because right now there is not enough to want to tune in to Raw. I'm just hoping that maybe we're going to see a couple of guys return to kind of shake things up. You know, we're kind of hearing those rumblings that a certain former World Heavyweight Champion may have reached a deal with the organization, and he could be coming up tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Would that
make an impact? Would that make an impact to you?
If he gets in the face of John Cena, I'd be for it. Because honestly, I do not want to see John Cena take on The Rock again. They need a break. I don't care if it's at another new pay-per-view. They need a break. Because honestly, like I said, unless it was like watching WrestleMania 28. I mean, literally. It was like what really just made this match different was that John Cena won the title this go-around. So, Rock and Cena, they need to take a break from each other. I think they've milked that for all it's worth. They need to go in a different direction right now. And if who we're thinking is going to be returning tomorrow night, I just think he needs to get right in the face of John Cena. What better way to kick it off? You go for the top guy. Honestly, go for the top guy.
Yeah. Definitely. I agree with that. I agree with that.
This is what I want to do. I want to go on ahead. We're not going to even take a commercial break. Here's how we're going to do this whole thing. And the first person I want to look out for, now she said that she would call into the show. We're definitely going to hook her up because today is actually her birthday. And how badass is that? It's her birthday and she gets to see WrestleMania. And she's off work tomorrow. It's one of our longtime listeners and Twitter buddies, Ursula, sweetheart. It always is nice to hook us up with Raw events whenever she goes to the event. So a little shout-out for you. Hopefully you're still up. If not, we'll try to get you another time. But we promised her that we were going to try to hook her up with some goodies for her birthday. But the way I want to do this, because we got a couple of people that's on hold. They want to get on the air. All the people that basically call in and they get on the air, they're going to get goodies. That's just how we're going to do it. One of the goodies that we got up for grabs And this is only one copy that we're going to be hooking up a listener with. We will actually pre-order and we will ship to you guys for your respective platform the next WWE 14 video game that's going to be coming from 2K Sports. I repeat, one copy for one listener. And the way that we'll do this, I'm thinking of a number between 1 to 25. If you're dead on the spot, you get the game. If not, then, you do the next go-around. We'll hook you up with another prize. That's how we'll kind of do it. But that's one of the prizes you'll be able to get. Next prize is going to be the Bret Hart Dungeon Collection, your choice, standard or on Blu-ray. And we'll also hook you up. Now, this DVD hasn't come out yet. It won't be out until April 16th. I'm talking about the For All Mankind, the life and career of Mick Foley with Mr. Socko Puppet, limited edition. We're going to try to hook you guys up with that. And we'll hook you guys up with RCWR T-shirt. So one of those you'll be able to grab, all right? But that WWE 14 game, remember, that's just going to one person. We're not going to keep dishing that out. That just costs too much goddamn money to be thrown out there. All right, so this is how we're going to do it. I'm thinking of a number between 1 to, 25?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm thinking of a number between 1 to 25. If you want to try to get the WWE game, you need to let me know so I can ask you what's the number I'm thinking. That's how we'll do it. And you'll be able to share your reactions to what you thought about WrestleMania. So let's just go down the line. Let's start with caller from the 704 area code. Let us know your name and where you're calling from.
What's happening, Lee and Tammy and Diamond? This is your boy Philip. How y'all doing?
Hey, Phil.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I was calling in. I wanted to get in first because I thought y'all was giving away a date with Tammy.
I don't think her boyfriend would appreciate that. Ooh. And
you can drive us to the spot, and you know.
And you know how Scott can be when he hears that type of talk, Tammy.
I'm just playing around with him.
Yeah, we know.
Absolutely, man.
So what did you think about WrestleMania, Phil?
I thought it was, for what it was, if you put it in the right context, I think it was cool, man. WrestleMania, I was in the chat room. I made a point, the WWE doesn't have to give a lot of shenanigans for WrestleMania because people are going to buy that pay-per-view. They already have bought it. They need some storylines to come to an end. You had 3 really big matches that could have headlined any pay-per-view during the year as the latter matches, Rock and Cena, Triple H and Lesnar, and, of course, Undertaker and Punk. I think the show was long, and WrestleManias have been going, 4 hours plus the pre-show. So those people were sitting there for, 5 hours, maybe 5.5, depending on when they got there. And anytime you're in an arena for 2.5, 3 hours, you start to get a little tired. So I think that people kind of popped for Undertaker and Punk, and they got what they felt was like a good main event. And then Triple H and Lesnar and Punk and The Rock and Cena didn't sound as loud on television. I think that was kind of maybe the reason.
Yep, I agree.
So you think all the energy went out after the CM Punk Undertaker match?
Well, I've been to a lot of different events, house shows. I've been to pay-per-views, and I have suffered through some of that. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I was at Unforgiven in 2000 when the Boss Man and Al Snow wrestled the Cell in a Kennel match, which is the worst professional wrestling match to have ever gone down. So I have been through it all. And I just think, it was a big deal, but, those people go into the Hall of Fame, those people go into, and that Hall of Fame is long. That Hall of Fame, there's people that just got out of the Hall of Fame, that left and went across the river to get to their arena. That's how long the Hall of Fame is.
Yeah.
And so I think the show was a little long. And the other point that I will make, and I'll take it off the air, man, is can we please bring back the Fink to do the announcing? Because Lillian Garcia is sweet. She's a gorgeous woman, and the other guy is cool. But when the Fink was announcing the Hall of Fame guys, I was like, man, can we please? That's how wrestling is supposed to be announced. That's how you're supposed to bring somebody out. Yeah. And these other guys, I give them respect. Give them their paper. You know, there's a new era or whatever, but the Fink is the Fink, man.
Fink is the man. Yeah, Fink is the man. Did you want to take a stab at a number, I'm thinking, or you want RCWR shirt?
I'm going to say number 2.
Nah, you way off. Way off.
Oh.
Way off. But you get your pick. You can either get, and if you already have it, it's cool, but you can get either the Bret Hart Dungeon Collection or the new Mick Foley DVD that's going to be coming out on the 16th, or you can get an RCWR T-shirt. Which one you want?
I'll take a T-shirt, man. You know, I'll try to respect and listen to y'all show, and if you got some extra larges, I'll take one of those. But, yeah, man, I'm from North Carolina. We can't count that high around here.
Okay, X-large shirt. What I'm going to do is Tammy, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I want both of you guys to go in the screening room, and then Phil, she'll take down your information. Make sure you hook up with your shipping address and all that, and we'll get it out to you. And that definitely, thanks for that call, man. We always love it when Phil calls in. And Tammy, I'm gonna hook you up right now. All right, 3, 2, 1. You're in with Phil. Okay, let's continue on now. Let's go to 510. I know who that is. That is our boy. That's our boy Chris, if I'm not mistaken. I got your name right, buddy? I know it's rare you call in. Is it Chris?
Yeah, Christian.
All right, Christian. How you been, man?
Yeah. I've been doing all right, man. I've been, I did check out WrestleMania. I mean, I definitely, I was impressed on a few matches. Triple H and Brock. They had one hell of a good matches. And I like how Shawn Michaels was in the mix too. And that whole Fandango and what's his name? Chris Y2J.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Chris Jericho was gonna beat him, but I guess he was just pushing and he was just helping. They did. I mean, they worked out a good, wonderful match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did. What you thought about the pay-per-view overall?
I would have to give it a 8 out of 10. Yeah, I mean,
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you end up ordering the pay-per-view, or did you watch it at a friend's house?
I eventually ordered it. $60. Yeah.
Now, this is what I'd like to know, because I want you to make sure you let those folks know that didn't watch it. Do you feel that it was worth the $60+?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't really know. I mean, it did. I mean, I can see if it was like like maybe $49, but it was worth it. Guys, if you didn't check it, you can always get the DVD. That's probably gonna
So you would recommend for folks to order the replay?
Well, I mean, I would buy it on DVD.
So don't order it. Buy it. Wait. Save a little money. Get it on DVD.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So save that. It's like $20.
Yeah. Okay, I respect that. I like that.
Yeah,
Christian always honest with that. You want to take a stab at the number? I'm guessing. See if you can win a copy of WWE 14.
Okay. Let me see. 25.
No, but you are a runner-up. So unless the next person is closer to the number, you could possibly win it. You're close. let me ask you this. Take your pick, just in case you're not able to win it. You want a RCWR T-shirt, the Bret Hart Dungeon Collection DVD, or you want the new Mankind DVD that's going to come out?
I'll take the Bret Hart.
The Bret Hart?
The Dungeon.
Okay, I tell you what, this is what I'm gonna do. Don't hang up. I'm gonna put you in conference with Tammy, and I want you to give her all your shipping info so we make sure we get it out to you. Let her know you want the Mankind DVD, and then once she takes your information, don't hang up because it's possible you could have won the WWE 14 game. Okay.
Oh, all right, Lee. All right.
Okay, hang on. Let me transfer you. Where you at? Where you at? I'm trying to find you. Okay, here we go. And then Tam, you got Christian. You heard all that, right?
Right.
Okay, here you go. All right, let's keep it moving along. All right, Diamond. Let's see who we're going to next. Let me see here. We got a lot of people calling in tonight. I like that. How badass is that? I mean, we're just so fucking cool. Not to brag. I mean, how cool is that? How many wrestling shows can you think of that will kick back and give you guys free shit just for listening? And if you ask, when are we going to do this again? Honestly, we're not doing this until next WrestleMania weekend. We're not. We got to prepare for something like this. So we're going out on a high note. Let's go with... Looks like we only got one more call. 205. You live on air, my friend.
Hey, this is Shane from Alabama.
Say your name again?
Shane.
Shane?
Yeah.
Like Shane O'Mac?
Yeah, that's pretty
okay,
the way.
All right, let me make sure I heard you right. How you doing, Shane?
Pretty good. I ordered WrestleMania.
Yes, what you thought about it, buddy?
I thought it was pretty good. Found out the Undertaker matchup is awesome.
Did you say except for the Undertaker match or especially the Undertaker match?
Undertaker and the Rock versus Cena, that was pretty good.
Yeah, okay. And now you said you ordered it. Now, did you pay for regular or you paid for high def?
Standard.
Standard, okay. So would you recommend to one that didn't catch it to order the replay, or are you kind of like Christian and say, you know what, just kind of wait it out, wait till it comes out on DVD, save a little money?
Yeah, I'll wait for it to come out on DVD.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
About 8.5.
8.5, okay.
Yeah.
Diamond, you want to ask Shane a question?
Was this better this year than last year's WrestleMania?
Yes, it was better than it was last year.
Now that's good. That's a damn good question and good answer. Now, why do you feel it was better than last year, Shane?
I don't know. Just the Rock versus Cena is better than it was last year. I mean, so they got the belt.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Okay, very interesting. Okay. You want to take a shot at seeing if you could win a copy of WWE 14?
Yes, sir.
All right, what number am I thinking from 1 to 25?
24.
Nah, but you just bumped off Christian there. So unless the next person gets it right, you could have won the game, but just in case you don't, take your pick. You want a RCWR T-shirt, you want the Bret Hart Dungeon Collection, or you want the Mick Foley DVD?
The Mick Foley DVD.
Mick Foley DVD? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I want you to give your shipping information and all that to Tammy, and let her know you want the Mick Foley DVD, and then after she takes your info, don't hang up. So, you got to try to find out if you're the one that will be winning that copy. So just hang on one second. Let me transfer you here. You guys got to forgive me. There's like so many calls coming in here on the switchboard that I'm trying to see who's who. And Shane, I'm trying to find your area code, man. I see you now. Here you go. Hang on. And Tammy, you heard all that, right?
Mhm.
That's Shane 321 Boom. All right, let's keep it moving along. And we got one last caller, it looks like, that we're going to be taking. Caller from the 912 area code. You live on air, my friend.
Yes. Oh, thank God. Oh, sorry there. Hey, Lee. This is Trey from Savannah.
Hey, Trey. Yeah, Trey. You always chatting it up good on Twitter there. What's up, man?
All right, man. I had to say WrestleMania was kind of disappointing. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't that great either. And I'm not going to lie, I was the kind of cheap kind of guy who would stream the whole pay-per-view, given though the price kind of scared me, I'm not going to pay, $70, and I find this out, John Cena winning, and nothing, absolutely nothing changed except for, The Miz winning the Intercontinental title, which is pretty much pointless at this point.
Right.
It was,
Now, go on record. Did you actually watch the pay-per-view? And if you did, did you order or did you stream it?
I streamed it.
That's all right. Look, we ain't gonna submit your name and number and all that to the authorities. You good. Yeah. Okay, you good, okay? But now keeping all that you said in mind, do you now feel like, you know what, did I dodge a bullet? I'm glad I didn't spend the money. Is that how you're feeling right now based on what you saw?
Yes, that is exactly how I'm feeling right now.
Okay. Scale to 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I wanted to give it a 5, but considering the Punk Undertaker match, basically the only thing that saved this pay-per-view, I have to give it probably 7.
Okay. Hey, Diamond, anything you want to add to that, buddy?
No, not really. I think did a good job.
Yeah, okay. You want to take a stab at the WWE 14 game?
Sure. I'm probably not going to get this right, but it's a number just so happen to be 14.
No, but you actually came the closest. For everybody else that was on hold, our boy Trey actually came the closest. The number that I was thinking was 17. So you win. I tell you what, you win the WWE 14 game. And in case you guys might not know, that's actually going to have The Rock on the front cover.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, The Rock on the front cover. And we're gonna hook you. We're gonna hook you up in style as soon as the pre-order is available. We're gonna order it for you. We'll try to get you a limited edition copy that'll give you all the little bonus downloadable content. Okay, yeah. Oh no, we do it in style, baby. We do it in style because the way that they're doing the downloadable content now, unless you pre-order, you're somewhat out of luck now. They don't even make it be available in the shop zone there. So we'll hook you up with that. What I want you to do is, and we'll also give you a RCWR T-shirt. What size do you wear?
Oh man, give me the biggest one you got. You
do an XL?
Okay, I can probably fit into.
You want an XL or a 2XL?
Oh, you got 2XL. That'd be even better.
You can definitely do 2XL.
Yeah.
Okay, 2XL. All right, so we'll hook you up. Give all your shipping info and all that to Tammy, and then she'll hook you up. We could definitely get the shirt out to you ASAP. But again, with the game, as soon as they start pre-ordering, that's when we'll pre-order it. And you don't have to worry about shipping. We'll pay for the shipping and all that, and it'll just come to your house the day of its street release. So all you need to do is just make sure that you're home and you intercept the package, and we'll give you the tracking number, all that good stuff. All right, so once again, Shane wins. Congrats to Shane. And hang on, let me transfer you over to Tammy right now. And where are you? Boom. And Tammy, where are you? There you go. All right, so Tammy, you're getting ready to talk to Trey. Okay, hook him up with a 2XL RCWR shirt.
I heard it.
And everything else. All right, good. All right, let me transfer you now. 3, 2, 1. And that's it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, he actually came the closest. I heard 24, 25, 14. I think that's it. I think that's it. Let's take in one more caller. And we actually got one more caller. 205, you on there?
Alrighty. I won the game.
No, you didn't win it.
Oh, I didn't win it?
No, it wasn't you. No, your number was way off.
Me?
It was Shane that won it.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, Shane won it. You came close. All right, that's going to do it. I think we did a damn good post show tonight. I'm glad we got a couple of people that won some goodies. And Christian, you didn't come close. But Christian, did you give your shipping info to Tammy? Christian? Going once, going twice. Christian. One more time. Christian. No, I think that's going to do it. All right, so we'll wait for Tammy to, wait, hang on. I think I see what happened here.
Yeah.
Let's try this one. Christian, you there, buddy?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, did you give your shipping info to Tammy?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy. All right, so while Tammy's taking down final notes there, Diamond, last thoughts about WrestleMania now that it's in the books. Oh, Diamond, don't tell me I accidentally muted you, man. If I did, I'm sorry. Wait a minute. Bear with me, folks. I think I might have accidentally disconnected Diamond. Let's try that again. Diamond, say something, man. Diamond.
Yep.
Well,
yep.
There you are. What's your final thoughts now that WrestleMania is in the books?
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad that the spectacle is behind us. Now we can get to the business of professional wrestling and promoting some good matches, and not necessarily the match that's going to give us the best buy rate only. So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe we'll see a draft. Maybe we'll see a wrestler return. Something's going to happen tomorrow.
I agree with you 100%. Now that we're done with all the old guys, as a lot of folks like to refer them, and now that they're done, it's now time for the younger talent to step on back in, own that spotlight. I'm eyeballing guys like Ryback. I'm eyeballing guys like Fandango. I'm eyeballing guys like Daniel Bryan, Ziggler. I'm eyeballing all you guys, all you young guys. Big E, Langston, now is your time to step up. We know that some of you guys be moaning and groaning when you got the Brock Lesnar's, Triple H's, Shawn Michaels, all returning for one last hoorah, including The Rock. Well, now you get your wish. The guys are gone. The veterans, that is. Now we get to see what these young guys can do for at least the next 8-9 months. And hopefully it'll be an entirely different story come WrestleMania 30. And I'm just glad this one's in the book, man. $70 is, I just keep thinking to myself, $70, ooh-wee. I just had to pay for HD. Lord have mercy. Tammy, let you get in your final thoughts about WrestleMania now that it's in the books. Did you get everybody's info?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, first of all, my final thoughts as far as WrestleMania, I mean, it was good for what it was, and I kind of am with you a little bit on the price, but it had its moments, no doubt. I mean, a couple of things where they're like the Shield, getting over, and a couple of other things. Some of them were really on point, and there were a few surprises, not many, but a few to make it, an okay pay-per-view. I kind of agree. You have to agree with Christian. Don't really need to order it. Just buy it when it comes out. And if you really need to know about what happened, just re-listen to the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
In closing, just to echo, because we want to make sure we show love to those of you in the chat room, and we do appreciate all of you that checked in to tonight's post show. Radius, Roberto, Phillip, he actually did double duty. He's been active in the chat room, and he called in, of course. Let's show some love to you guys. Roberto, 6.5 out of 10, sadly. Somebody said something that was very interesting. It was iRadius. They could have used the surprise, though, something to create a buzz. Definitely agree with that. Even though WrestleMania usually just is the bookend of matches, rivalries, all that good stuff, and then they start fresh on Monday night, I do agree that there should have been some type of a to kind of, lure you into Raw. And I think it could have came from the Triple H Lesnar or the CM Punk Undertaker, or even The Rock versus Cena. It could have came from one of those main three matches. But the fact that it didn't, now, we're kind of sitting on our hands here and hoping that maybe something big is going to happen on Raw. And for you guys that weren't able to figure it out, as iRadius put the question out there, who's the returning wrestler? We're hearing rumors that Dave Bautista has signed a deal to return to the WWE. At the same time, we're also hearing that Goldberg has signed a 4-year deal with WWE. Now, he shot the rumor down, but those are your two guys right there. So I think that WWE created money when they had Brock Lesnar return last year, the night after WrestleMania, and he just got all up in John Cena's face. Could lightning strike twice with one of those two guys returning? We shall wait and see. I do want to take the time out to, first off, thank Diamond K and Tammy for helping out on this post show. We went into mad overtime tonight, but it was well worth it. We want to thank everybody in the chat room that participated, interaction with us. Thank those of you that called into the show. Thank those of you, special shout out to those of you that won. Some cool goodies there. And remember, spread the word about our show, and we will be doing this again very, very soon. But, hopefully you appreciated the way that we talked about wrestling tonight, and be sure to check us out every Tuesday nights at 11 p.m. Eastern. We talk WWE, also the latest in wrestling headlines. For you TNA fans, we got your hookup Thursday night, Impact Showdown Radio. And respectively, we do our things on the weekends. You can check out Diamond at the Diamond K Show on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. He's everywhere. And he does Ustream Radio, some good stuff. And, those are our Twitter handles. You can follow Diamond K at the Diamond K Show. You can follow the RCWR Show at the RCWR Show. That'll just give you show information and all that. If you want to interact, we have Infinity One Prod. That's with an E and the actual number 1, Infinity One Prod on Twitter. Look all those links up. If you miss all that, just check out the show description, and we actually provide links in there. And that's going to do it. Great fucking post-show, year-end. Very, very proud of the great turnout we had tonight. And it should be noted that, unfortunately, our post show did not get featured on Blog Talk Radio, and I was okay with that. But something that I am not okay with is the fact that tonight's WrestleMania, though it might have been a little lackluster, it did not get highlighted on Blog Talk Radio by any wrestling show. I think that is a big travesty in itself. So it's up to you guys to spread the good word if you had enjoyed our post show tonight and you enjoyed our wrestling coverage. On behalf of Diamond K and the beautiful and the lovely Tammy, I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. I wish all you guys be safe, be kind to one another. Great job on tonight's show, guys. Pat yourselves on the back. We did a good one, and let's do this again. But y'all can say something. I haven't turned it off yet.
Everybody, good night.
Yeah, okay. Diamond, go ahead, man. Diamond's being silent right now. Diamond's ready for some sleep. I'm ready for some sleep, too. Good night, everybody.